The language of love. You've probably heard of the 5 languages of love, and maybe done some research on it, and maybe you already know what your love language is. But here's why this is important. Number one, when you are trying to date or you're in a relationship, it is fundamentally important that you understand and accept yourself first. Once you do that and you understand what how you communicate, and you accept yourself, the authentic you, the way you are, that's the key. Once you get to that place, then you can and you start dating, or you bring somebody into your life. It's important to pay attention to what their love language is. And you don't have to have the same love language. Absolutely not. I mean, because it works. If you understand and accept the other person, this can work no matter what the love language they have is, and yours. It doesn't matter if you understand and accept it. And that's really hard for a lot of people, because as human beings, sometimes we forget that people don't see things the same way we do. They don't interpret things the same way. We have different lenses. We're looking at things differently automatically because we're two different people, and our brains process things differently. But when it comes to love language, as long as you understand yours and you understand what your other person's is, you can absolutely make it work. You accept that about them, and you pay attention to those things that matter more to them. That's what love is. And that's how you build a great relationship. You don't have to be exactly the same on every single level. It does help to have a lot of similarities. A lot of people say opposites attract. I don't buy into that. I think initially they do, but then I think long term it's more of a struggle. If you have somebody in your life that's more like you, more like-minded, those fundamental, the core, your core beliefs and your core morality, all that is kind of the same. It makes it a lot easier. It just does, I think. But, so the 5 love languages, they are the words of affirmation. That means you use words to show your love, or written words, verbal words, whatever. Words are how you communicate your love. 2, acts of service. This is kind of like when you do little things for somebody to, help them out, or to, make them feel special. That's what an act of service is. Receiving gifts. Now this sounds, kind of shallow on the surface, but really what it is when somebody gives you something that is meaningful to you and sentimental to you, a tangible item that you can hold on to, that means something to you. That's what that means. So don't get it confused. The next one is quality time. And that is undivided attention. Some people need that, and some people want to give it. So, you have to allow somebody to love you in the language that they, need to. And you also have to be willing to accept them for who they are. The last one is physical touch. Holding hands, touching, whatever. That's how they are shown love, and that's how you're shown love. So if you have those in, that physical touch love language, that's what you need to feel loved. And that's what you're going to give. But if you meet somebody, have somebody in your life that has a different love language, by all means, you're going to try to show them in that language, right? It's pretty simple. It's kind of, it's like, balancing the scales. And when you truly love somebody, you want to do what's best for them. That'll come naturally as part of the natural process of loving somebody. But remember that we are all different, and you shouldn't want to change anybody, and you have to accept people for what they are. It doesn't mean that you have to choose to be with them or date them, but you have to accept who they are, or at least give them that basic respect. The world would be a better place. But anyway, pay attention to what your love language is, and learn what your love language is, because that's learning about yourself, and you need to know yourself very well before you bring somebody else into your life. I know sometimes it's hard if you're a little bit different. It's hard to keep explaining yourself to people because they don't quite get it. People can only understand what they're capable of understanding. And if they're not, and like I said, people see things through different lenses, so they will not see things the same way as you. And trying to make them see things the exact same way is where the struggle comes in. And that's what people do wrong. It's when communication breaks down. So learn your love language and learn your significant other's love language if you want to have a better relationship. Good luck.